Hey, good morning guys. We are back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the RB26. I'm in the process of having my RB26 machined and built right now at the machine shop. And we've got some very big parts and some new partnerships that we're going to be talking about. And the biggest issue when you start building big horsepower on an RB26 is the block. Since it's an inline 6, the block flexes under heavy horsepower and it twists. And when it twists, it does what happened to this block here. It cracks it. Especially with the GTR, is the front transfer case all-wheel drive system diverts through the oil pan, which puts all those additional pressures and causes the block to have that extra twist. And it can, you know, destroy your block and destroy your build. So when you guys are doing a GTR build, this is kind of a proven part and a formula that is good for cars when you start going above that 600 wheel horsepower. So let's go ahead and unbox it. So we've got two essential items that we need for a good, reliable RB26 build, guys. And you can probably guess what it is by looking at the shape of it. And this is a goodie that I decided to do kind of last minute, and I'm glad that I did. And let's open them, guys. I'm super stoked. I've been saving my money for a while and getting ready to buy these parts so I can start slowly on the RB26 build and get my R32 back on the road so I can get behind the wheel and enjoy. Guys, I am so excited to announce I will be partnering with Platinum Racing Products on my channel. So shout out to Platinum Racing Products. Thank you so much for your help, guys. I appreciate you guys partnering with me on this. And this is going to be essential to keeping my RB26 long lasting and reliable. I believe how good that thing was packaged. Look at all the packaging on that thing to make sure it got over here safely from Australia. Great job. It arrived perfectly unharmed, no scratches, no nothing. Perfect. This block brace is going to sandwich between the bottom of the block.
Get a little sandwich action.
And it's going to sit on top of the oil pan between there and the block, and it's going to keep the engine from twisting and flexing, which is going to prevent it from cracking and destroying itself. So this is definitely a good investment if you're going to do high horsepower. It comes with all the hardware and everything you need in the box. And I love that PRP puts all the revision updates. So this is revision 11.7. So if you ever have any questions and you need to talk to PRP, you can let them know what version of what brace you have so they can help troubleshoot if you're having any issues. Hardware is very beefy in the box there. Comes with some nice zinc plated studs. Looks like this is a rubber seal, which I think goes in the bottom. What I want to do for this is do a really good installation video. So I'm going to work with my machine shop and show kind of the machining process and everything that needs to be done as far as assembling this on your engine and everything you need to know from start to finish. But yeah, this looks like the seal right here for this little rubber seal. So the factory oil pump on the RB26 is considered its Achilles heel. It's the weak point of it. So I'm glad with PRP, the new Billet oil pump, Spline Drive, we can fix that. And I got this in black, anodized black, same as the block brace. I figured once I paint the block and everything, it should match very well and look very nice. And comes with all the hardware in the box. Nice PRP throwing some stickers for me, that's cool. But look at this bad boy. I'm super excited about this. PRP high speed engineering. So yeah, that little contact point there and here, what's pushing that drive out, you have contact points all the way around here. So that's basically just going to grip this and it's going to turn with the crankshaft versus it wanting to push itself and explode itself apart. So that block brace is essential to sandwich between the two to eliminate that from happening and keeping the block from cracking like this one. And that's why I decided to buy both of these. I figured they're worth the investment and the peace of mind of knowing, hey, we're going higher horsepower. We've got 30-year newer technology available on the market. Why not utilize that? I'll put a link in the description down below for the PRP website for the exact Spline Drive Oil Pump I bought and the RB26 Block Brace. So I'm super excited for my build, guys. I'm kind of mixing some of the best parts from Japan and Australia. I'm gonna have an HKS Step 2 2.8 stroker kit with Step 2 VCAM, and I'm gonna have these PRP parts. And I think it's gonna be the perfect mix and perfect combo to kind of bring the best of two different technologies from two different countries together and make one hell of a GTR. This thing is going to be a weapon on the street, and I'm so excited to get this thing done and share it with the channel. The 2JZ, one of the other most legendary engines out of Japan. This is a very similar design to what Toyota does from the factory. And if that thing's bulletproof, I would imagine that PRP did all their research and they made this thing even better than that. So, but look at this. Guys, this is a one-piece billet. You can see all the machining marks and everything. This is freaking beautiful. You got adjustable oil pressure on the side, but this is the big thing that you guys want here is the spline drive. So this is each one of these splines is kind of like a cogwheel and a clock, so it's going to maintain perfect contact with the crankshaft versus the OEM crankshaft. When you guys look at this, you've got that little tiny connecting point on the bottom. So you got one little point here and one little point on the other side. So you got two little points on each side, and what happens, so you can see on the gear drive on the oil pump, what happens over time is that little contact point there and also right there. So with the factory oil pump, what happens over time is when that crankshaft is applying all that pressure and it's basically contacting just those 2 points of the oil pump gear drive, it's basically wanting to push that gear drive apart. So what ends up happening is you're bouncing off red line and you're doing launches and you're doing stuff that the factory oil pump was not designed. It puts cracks in the gear and eventually will fracture the gear, and then you're screwed. Another weak point with the factory oil pump is the back plate is a cast aluminum. This is a piece of steel, and I was watching some videos from Platinum Racing Products. Shout out to Herman. Herman, I've been watching your channel, watching kind of all your stuff, teaching me about this stuff.
Hi, Herman from Platinum Racing Products, and we're here to talk about billet oil pumps and oil pump gears.
Let's listen to the engineering science into this technology from PRP themselves.
Spline drive. We call it a quad key master. There's very little slop with it, if at all. I mean, they're really tight tolerance. You can go to a billet oil pump. They're just a very sturdy design. Your oil pump gears, there's minimal play in there. More importantly, the gear to gear clearance. These are all isotropic polished.
For more information on this and to go further in depth, check out PRP's YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description down below. But the back plate here is steel, and under high pressure, the steel won't warp, where the factory cast aluminum will warp and you get deflection, then you end up getting leaks around the seals and you're gonna have inconsistency with your oil pressure. This is gonna stop that. And that was kind of my issue with my oil pump. What killed my RB26 is the screws were backing out on the backing plate, and I had low oil pressure, and with turning up the boost and building more horsepower, I was making 450 wheel, 450 torque. I damaged a couple of the bearings from not having enough oil pressure, and then that bearing material went to the turbo, caused the turbo to fail, and I had all kinds of fragments inside my engine. Mark IV Supra. Oh, that was fast. So I guess what I'm trying to say is learn from my mistakes. I learned the hard way, and it's been kind of heartbreaking and very expensive, and it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I can pay for the rebuild. It also comes with the oil pump alignment tool, so you can align it perfectly onto the crankshaft.
You oversize those dowel holes and then basically back all the bolts off, put your oil pump alignment tool on there, and it will find its perfect center.
We're gonna get the crankshaft machined at the machine shop. So that's kind of the big reason I wanted to get these parts now, because the crankshaft is gonna need to be matched to the oil pump. Looks so nice. It's gonna be so strong. It's gonna be good, consistent oil pressure. And the backing plate is secured by 8 Allen bolts instead of 7 screws. And with the Allen bolt, you could definitely get a little bit better torque on them than a Phillips screw, which is nice. And we also picked up an ATI super damper. That's gonna be all part of the system. This is the 3-pulley system. It's the same size one that HKS uses in their kit. And this is good for 800 horsepower. But I want to have the capability of running the car like stock. I want AC, everything. I want everything to work and be driven properly. If you haven't seen the video on that, I did an unboxing video yesterday. I'll put a link in the description. And then I got a bunch of top secret goodies, titanium parts, picked up a new hat. So yeah, have a link in the description for the last video. If you haven't seen it, you guys can catch up. But I tell you, I spent a lot of time watching the Motive DVD channel. Andrew, shout out to you. Thank you so much. You're pretty much the most informative GTR channel that I've ever seen on the planet. So with the success of all the builds that I see happen in Australia, I figured, hey, that's a proven format. You guys have been tuning these cars for years. So it's nice to have some of the best Australian parts going on to my R32 GTR. I couldn't be more excited. And with everything that happened with the engine failure last time, I don't want to do it again. So I'm going to take my time. I want to make sure that this build's going to last. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna go ahead and take these parts up to the machine shop and drop them off. We'll go for a quick tour in the machine shop just to kind of get a look at it, and then we'll go back later on, July. I've got some time off. They're gonna have me come in, and then I'm gonna film the machining process and kind of what they do when they line hone and when they torque plate down, and they basically do all the machining of the block. So let's head up there. Well guys, we're here at John's Specialty Machine, the machine shop where I'm getting my RB work done, and my engine, all my parts are here. That's my block and box and everything. All right, that's it guys, everything's dropped off. I gotta order one more piece for the PRP Spline Drive Oil Pump. I need the piece that connects the oil pump to the crank collar so they can machine that. So I'm gonna have to order that, and I realized I didn't get that until now. So my mistake, but you guys stay tuned. If you like the content, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.